Hi everybody, this is Oksana and this is going to be a tutorial on this bead pendant. And this is kind of a beginner tutorial. I have a very beginner tutorial for if you're starting out with wire wrapping, how to make a pendant with just one piece of wire and one little bead. So I think that this is the next kind of step from that because it introduces a thinner weaving wire that we're using here to make this connection, but it's not as difficult as weaving and doing like a weaving pattern. So if you're ready to use a thin little weaving wire, but not ready for a weaving pattern like this bale, it doesn't have a woven pattern in it, this is just kind of a good next step. Or of course, if you're not a beginner and just happen to like this design, and it's also just plain on the back here. So you can wear it that way or here with all the little swirls. So let's get started. So in this video, I'm going to be using some round wire, some 20 gauge. This is the Artistic wire brand, and some 28 gauge, and they're both in the gold color. So for the thicker wire, I'm just gonna use this one piece that I cut, and it is about 10 inches, and my bead, it's a little heart bead, it's lava rock, and it's about a little bit more than an inch, about 30 millimeters tall, but that's not important. You can use a slightly larger or smaller bead, and it doesn't have to be a heart shape, of course. It can be circle or oval or whatever, any shape, but the important thing is that the hole going through your bead is relatively large so that your 20 gauge wire, when it's folded in half, can fit through. Like if you get both ends in there, it can fit through. That's the important thing. So I noticed that usually larger beads tend to work better, because some smaller beads can have a really thin little opening, and then this won't work. So once you have a bead that works with, what you're gonna need is some bale making pliers. I'll link mine below this video. It's called Bead Buddy. I think they're from Michaels or AC Moore. I bought them years and years ago. Or if you don't have these, you just need to find something round. Like you can use round nose pliers, and you can use just like the thinner portion of them and then the lower down thicker portion of them, because we're gonna need to make some circular shapes. So my wire is already kind of folded in half when I was trying to fit it through my bead, and so yours may be as well. But then here in this middle portion, what you want to do is you want to take a relatively small, pick a small one of these. So I'm going to pick this one here. And we're going to shape it around. And we're going to crisscross the wires so that the ultimate result, I can wiggle it off here, is this little circle. So now I'm going to go down here to this larger portion. I'm just going to press it up against it and bend into a larger circle like this. So now we have two. Looks like a little snowman, and I actually thought it could be fun to now do another larger one, and it could be a little snowman. Maybe if you have like a blue bead or something winter themed, but mine is just like a purple heart bead, and so I'm just not gonna do a snowman, but that's just an idea I wanted to share with you, is this could be a little snowman. And now we're gonna go back to this one here. But what we're going to do differently is we're going to open up the little ends here. So they're crisscrossing, but we're going to put a little curve, a little bend into them. So that they are not crisscrossing. And what you can do is just go back, because sometimes it loses its shape a little bit. Go back, reshape it. All right. So now is the point at which we need to slide these through our bead. So whichever side of your bead you want to be your front, that's the side that we're going to bend these onto. Ooh, let me zoom back out a little bit. So we're just going to take these and bend them forward onto the front of the bead, like this. And now we're going to work on our bail. So I'm just going to grab my bail making pliers, since I have those handy, and I'm going to use them. I'm going to bend the wires forward, use these to help me shape my bail, and then I'm actually going to bring these wires to the back. So I need to kind of, oh, there we go, work them under there. All right. I'm just going to hold them together, and then I'm bringing one of the wires onto the front like this, and then the other wire, bringing it around all the way around. So it's going around the front and then back to the back. Let me just adjust these a little bit so they're equal. All right, so this wire that went all the way around, it's here on the back now. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of curve it a little bit. We're gonna trim it so there's a little end like this, and this little end is gonna go in here into the bail. It's basically forming like a little loop, and then we're gonna squish it with our pliers to essentially close that loop so that it is connected, and we kind of got rid of that tail end. So now we just have this wire here. What we're gonna do is just press on it with my thumb, and I'm just gently curving it and curving it, and then I am going to trim it like this, and then this little end, let me just kind of open it back up a little bit so I can get in there. I'm going to grab my round nose plier. With my round nose pliers, I'm just going to make a swirl. So you make your swirl however you like to do it. I just really like to kind of squish that little beginning portion. That just helps me make the swirl. And then I go ahead and it's okay if it moves out of place. We'll put it back where it needs to be. There we go. So once you've made your swirl, just kind of push it back where it needs to be on the stone, and then you just want it to be able to touch like that. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to grab my thinner wire, my 28 gauge wire. Oh, I can't get it. It's like the tiniest little tail end of it that doesn't want to come out. Come on. There we go, finally. So you just want to cut yourself just a little tiny bit of it. It doesn't need to be very long, just like 3 inches or something, 3 or 4 inches. Because this is going to make the connection here. So what we're doing is we're sliding it underneath both of these so that if you bend it, it's going under like that. So we're going to focus on one end of it first. So I'm just pressing down on it just so it doesn't go anywhere here. And this end, I'm going to wrap it around this part of the swirl. So I'm just taking the little end, I'm kind of guiding it. I find it easier to use my pliers to pull it. And we're just wrapping it around a few times, maybe like 4 times. So now I'm just going to trim it. There's going to be a little tail end because I want the end of the wire to be under so that you can't see it. So I'm kind of putting a bend into this little end with my pliers, and then I'm just pressing it down. So now it's tucked in under that wire. So that's how we hide the wire end. So now, let me zoom back out. We're going to take this bigger end and we're going to put it underneath both of these wires one more time, just so our connection that we're making is going to be a little stronger. So it's going to be 2 little wires going across. And now you can either wrap around this little swirl or you can wrap around here, whatever is easier for you. I'm just going to wrap around the swirl. So just to be the same as the other side, I'm going to do 4 little tiny wraps. So 1, 2, and 3. And this is going to be the 4th one. I'm just going to trim it and tuck it away, just how I did on the other side, except it's a little trickier now because we've got swirl in our way. That's okay, it'll still work. It's really handy to have these really small little pliers to get into these tight places. These are the Xuron needle nose, I'm sorry, not needle nose, tweezer nose pliers. I have them linked underneath the video. I got them on Amazon. All right, so now we've made that connection. So these 2 pieces are not going to lift up. And what I think is really cool about this pendant, if you have a stone with like a really unique design on it or something and you don't want to cover it up, you can put that here so that this can be worn just like this and you can see the beautiful like picture or design in the stone. And then if you ever want to wear it, you know, with decorative swirls, you can wear it this way. So it's pretty reversible. I know that this is like very plain, but I still would consider it to be reversible. And then I just want to show you, so instead of this little circular shape, what I did here is I tried to make a little heart pendant. So I made a little heart shape And then just the same as this, I brought the 2 wire ends together, I put them through the bead, I made the bail exactly the same way, I made the little swirl, and I attached it right here to the side of the heart. So again, on the back, it's plain. So that's just another idea. I like this one better. That's why I made the tutorial on this one, but if you like hearts, it's another option. You could do all kinds of shape with this, really. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.